UFC 319 Fight Week interview with Aaron Pico. Aaron, can we relax and breathe a little knowing that we're at this point, or are we too scarred from all the fallouts with Movsar Evloev to sort of enjoy the fact that a fight is on the way?
Yeah, it's been crazy to be honest with you, but everything worked out the way it was supposed to. And yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm just ready to go out there and make my debut and fight.
Now, candidly, we are recording this on the Thursday before fight week, but how excited are you to really get into the belly of the beast and experience what it's going to be like, not just to go through like a UFC fight week, but to do it at a UFC pay-per-view, one of the most exciting, anticipated main events of the year, and here you are co-main event.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, let's just be honest with you. When you're a young kid and in training, the whole goal is to be in the UFC and you're expected, you watch interviews and you've seen the guys that you've looked up to going through the whole process when you're a kid, because I was like that. I watched interviews of all the fighters I liked. And to be here now in the position is just it's really cool. And I've been mentally preparing for it for a long time. And so yeah, I've had a couple of I've been in the game a long time,
Mm-hmm.
so now I kind of know what to expect. But yeah, I'm soaking it all in, enjoying it, and I'm proud. I'm proud to be in the UFC and finally show the world what I'm made of.
I know you were super disappointed when the fight with Evloev fell through again. When you heard Lerone Murphy's name floated by, where was your enthusiasm level? Obviously not as highly ranked, but were you, yeah, how were you feeling? Were you excited about the prospect? Were you happy to get a fight? Yada, yada.
Yeah, I was excited. I mean, I know who he is, of course, and I knew that he was ranked. And to be quite honest with you, I was just really happy to be able to fight. They
Mm-hmm.
told me it was on a big, paper on Hamzat's card. I didn't know if it was going to be a co-main event. Then they told me it was co-main event, so that was excited. I was excited about that. But yeah, I was kind of up in the air. I was in Morocco at the time doing some training, and as soon as I arrived in Morocco, they told me that Movsar unfortunately wasn't able to
Mm-hmm.
fight. So I kind of took a little bit of a break, but nothing crazy. I was still training. But then when I landed in LA, my phone wasn't working. So as soon as I landed, I got a text message from Ali say you're fighting August 16th.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, all right, sounds good. Let's keep at it.
I saw you post some photos with Khamzat Chimaev, Arman Tsarukyan. How would you say they most impacted or benefited the Aaron Pico we're going to see on fight night this Saturday?
It's just awesome to be around guys that are on the same have the same mindset as you. They're trying to be the best in the world and they're training ridiculously hard. So to be around guys that are after the same goal as you, it just ups the bar. That was the first time I ever met Hamzat and Arman. I met him prior, but Hamzat, I've never met him before, and he's a beast. I mean, he works really, really hard, and yeah, we were pushing each other. He didn't want to lose, I didn't want to lose. So, I mean, we had some really good sessions in the garage with Coach Cal, and yeah, it's just an honor to be around guys that are trying to be the best in the world, and it keeps you sharp.
Could you break down for me very quickly what this Lauren Murphy fight's going to look like?
Well, it's no secret for him. I mean, he has really good footwork, and yeah, I'm gonna have to go in there and use my combinations and really set a high pace. But I do that every fight. I'm excited. I'm an exciting fighter. I throw my hands. Even when I take a guy down, I don't just lay there. I mean, I'm really trying to, bust him up with elbows and make it exciting. But yeah, it's going to be a great fight. I got to go in there and do my job and be exciting.
Hey, Aaron, which Call of Duty game has the best zombies mode?
Oh, that's funny. I don't play too much video games, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I was actually as a kid I played World at War.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Classic.
yeah, I was very good at that. I'd stay up hours playing that, but I haven't gamed in years.
Too busy riding horses. Better
Exactly.
for your
But
health.
my son is 4 years old. He asked me, he's like, "Ah, Dad, can I get a PS5?" I said, After this fight, we'll get a PS5."
Oh,
So,
yes,
but I don't
yes.
even know if his fingers can
Yeah.
handle the remote. But yeah, so he'll probably bring me back in the video games.
So I grew up a video game kid. My wife was, like a monkey climbing trees, and so this is one we've been debating. I think where we've settled on is that when we have kids, especially when they're younger, gaming time is like parental time. Like you do it together. Are you looking forward to kind of doing like some father son gaming? So I think those are good memories to have.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see what games he gets into, but yeah, I haven't been on video games in years. Like you said, I have horses, so I feel too guilty if I'm in the house playing games and I haven't ridden my horses. I'm just like I feel like I'm doing something wrong. So
Fair enough. Dude, the idea of you just jumping straight into the UFC and fighting the number one contender in Evloev is kind of mind blowing. Like, not that you're not of that caliber, but jumping to the UFC is a big adjustment, and to see you try and dive right into the very top is something not many people do. What would you say is the number one reason that you had such an appetite to dive immediately to the top? Was it just who the UFC was offering, or is this something that like you wanted to prove?
yeah, well, I'll tell you how it really, I mean, how everything went. I signed with the UFC, and then of course I talked to my manager and I say, "Well, who do you think I'll fight first?" And Ali, you know how he is, brother. You're gonna fight who the UFC tells you to fight. I said, "Fair enough." So a couple of weeks went by. He said, "You're fighting Movsar." I said, "Okay, no problem." Called the coaches and said, "Let's get ready." That's how it happened. I was supposed to actually fight him May
Mm-hmm.
17th. That was I was just relaxing, and then I got a phone call from Ali, and he said, "Hey, can you fight May 17th?" I said, "Of course." I said, "Sounds good. I'll be ready." Then I said, "Who is it against?" He said, "It's Movsar." I said, "Oh, perfect. Then that's a really good fight for me." And then that didn't happen. And then they said July. So yeah, I didn't have a choice on who I fought. I mean, I never been like I fight this guy. So that's how it all started. You fight. I'll never forget it. You fight who the UFC tells you to fight. I went like this. Sounds good.
Why is it that the Movsar fight is such a good one for you?
Well, I think I can neutralize his wrestling. I mean, he hasn't fought a wrestler like me, and yeah, I know it's not a wrestling match. He's very good in there, but I think my wrestling is just better, and my striking is on a whole different level. He hasn't fought a striker like me, so overall, I just thought it was a good fight. And he's the number one contender. You beat the number one contender, you fight for the title. I mean, that's kind of, and you do it in dominant fashion. It only makes sense. So, and also, I'm here to put my money where my mouth is. I say I'm the best fighter in the world, so they're like, okay, sounds good. Throw you in the ocean, sink or swim. Okay,
Well,
that's fine with me.
I hope my memory is doing me justice, but I remember being at the UFC Seattle post-fight presser, and Dana White saying, we were talking about Patricio signing with the UFC, we were talking about Aaron Pico, and I remember Dana saying like, Aaron Pico, that's Hunter Campbell's guy, and I think it's illustrated in the fact that you're debuting in a co-main event. They had you booked against the number one guy. How does it feel for you to have such support and belief from UFC brass before you've even fought here?
Yeah, it feels good. It's definitely not a bad position to be in, and if the bosses like you in any company that you work for, it's a good spot. But I think they like me because if you look at my fights, I'm exciting. And I've gone out there and put on shows, and I haven't just tried to squeak by wins. I've really went out there and let my hands go. Even in the ground and pound, I've told you I've always been exciting, and I think they see that, and I can be a really good asset to the UFC. And of course, that's a lot of pressure, but I'm prepared for that. I've been working since I've been a young kid for this moment, and now it's my time to go out there and put on a show. I mean, that's what the UFC is. I mean, yeah, you want to win, but you also want to do it in a fashion where the fans like to watch you fight. And I think that's a perfect place for me and my fighting style.
As we start wrapping up here, I am curious, have you seen Patricio Pitbull's two UFC fights so far, and could you gauge them
I
for me?
watched his I watched his first fight. live, and I didn't watch his last one. I was in Morocco, so when it went on, it was like 2 in the morning. So, but I saw that he won, and yeah, he's a legend.
Now, I don't know that it would make perfect sense if you beat Lerone Murphy, but let's assume at some point it does make sense in terms of rankings. Is that a fight you're still interested in revisiting? Obviously, it's kind of like the one from outside the UFC that people have been waiting for such a long time.
No, I'm not really interested in it, to be honest with you, and let me tell you why. Because he had many opportunities to fight me in Bellator. I asked to fight him for a whole year straight, and
Mm-hmm.
for some reason it never happened. But I'm very happy that it didn't, because I beat Patricio Pitbull. I won the championship. I'm locked in. I'm locked in there.
Mm.
So it all worked out the way it was supposed to. So, but he had every opportunity to fight me. But then now he's saying, "Ah, I want to fight him. I want to fight him." But it is what it is. We're completely different right now. I'm not focused on him. I'm focused on fighting for the championship.
Now, I hate to bring this to food as we start working through this weight cut, but on the way out here, you're big into Mexican food, right? You're a big taco guy, quesadilla
Yeah, I
guy.
love tacos.
All
Yeah.
right, quesadilla. Are we? Is this like an overrated, overblown trend, or is it justified? Because I got my takes.
No, I like it.
Yeah,
I do. I just love all Mexican food, but yeah, it's good.
yeah. No, the quesadilla slap. I think it's like one of those things when something becomes trendy and everyone does it. It's hard to find
Yeah.
the good one.
Yeah, I
Some
just
good
keep it
consomme
simple.
in there.
Quesadillas and tacos
Mhm.
are the best.
What's the go-to like cut? Like, are you a carnitas guy?
And the carne asada for
Mm,
sure. Yeah.
all right. Well, let's not. Hopefully, that's a motivating thought, not a stressful one as we head into
Yeah, I'm a
fight
little
week.
hungry right now if I'm
My
being completely
apologies.
honest. No, but it's all good though. I'm not one of those guys where the team can't eat in front of you and stuff like that, you know. I
S-
say I chose this profession. That's my job. It's part of it. So enjoy.
Okay, Shane Burgos, shout out to your fellow featherweight, is the most insane person I've ever talked to about this. When he's cutting weight on fight week, he picks the restaurants and the food items, and he gets his buddies to eat it in front of him and describe how it tastes. Is this unhinged behavior?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's not something I would do, but yeah, I've never heard that before. But hey, I'm sure his team enjoys that.
Fighters are a different breed. Aaron, if there's anything
Yeah.
you want to tell the people ahead of your co-main event fight at UFC 319, I'd love to give you the last word, man.
No, I just want the fans to tune in, and all my fights are exciting, and you guys can expect a great show August 16th.